If a student comes here and really wants to get good and improve his or her skills, there's no limit to what that student can do. The only limit, in my opinion, is the limit that they put on themselves.
The culture that I was introduced to then was the culture that, believed in excellence on the field, but excellence not at a particular cost, excellence relative to somebody's best.
I see it in your eyes. There's nothing I should have to say to you to get you fired up for this.
Your first impression was, wow, there are a lot of other good athletes here. Better bring your A game or you're not going to make the team.
There's just a lot to be proud of throughout the years, and I think that reflects in the athletics on the field. And I think once women joined that history, it got even better.
1, 2, 3!
1, 2, 3! 1, 2, 3!
Let's go!
As soon as you walk on that campus, you know that sports is important to them.
It was like nothing I'd ever seen before.
You get to have those few magic moments to walk out on the field in front of all of your classmates, all of your family, and show them and the opposing team just what you can do.
When you finally got on that field, it's like the best feeling in the world.
It's like an out-of-body experience.
I get chills thinking about it.
It was an amazing feeling, just that dash to the end zone. I felt like I could have run for days.
I never got tired of it.
You just always wanted to push yourself.
I remember the spirit coming out of the blocks, and nothing was going to stop me.
There's just nothing to compare with the adrenaline rush of playing sports.
It didn't matter that I was the youngest or the newest, which I was really nervous going in.
If you're not nervous during that time, then you aren't living.
We played hard and to win.
The tough thing about the state championship each year was that it fell on our spring break. And so, the school wasn't really there to support us, and we were missing a spring break just to kind of be together and play in this tournament. And I just remember seeing, a whole line of faculty members who had come down to see the game. And, they had driven like 4 or 5 hours to come down and watch us play. Seeing the faculty come out to that game and really take time off of their spring break as well, it meant a lot to us. I think the support really gave us the extra lift we needed to finish that one off.
The school spirit here at Episcopal is hard to describe to someone that hasn't lived it, who hasn't been here and experienced it and seen it firsthand.
Other schools were just blown away by how many students came to our games.
You would walk into the field house and it'd just be like a sea of maroon and black.
Getting in there and yelling and being a part of the contest, even if you weren't a participant, was something that people look forward to.
I mean, all the other teams come out for each other's games and cheer each other on. You have this whole community behind you.
Pretty impressive to run out and see 10, 15,000 people screaming and all your classmates right on the rail and slapping you just because they wanted to be a part of it as well. It was a pretty cool experience.
It wasn't what sport are you going to do, it was, which football team, in essence, would you sign up for?
I was too big to be on the cake squad and not capable enough to be on the JVs, so they had a group called the Marauders. So after getting banged around 2 or 3 times in practice, I was gimpy-legged, and Ed said, why don't you just check out? We don't need kids like you on our team. We're looking for tough players.
You can't snooze in practice or in a game because other people are dependent upon you.
So I went back to his home. I told him that if he allowed me to stay on the team, he wouldn't regret it. That moment advanced my compassion to compete more than anything that happened while I was at Episcopal.
Episcopal has been lucky to have just a number of legendary coaches throughout the years, both when I was there and even today.
I think you see kids start in young, sometimes stars in their eyes, and you see them grow when they realize what they have to do in order to achieve their goals.
It showed me that I could endure and go well beyond what I imagined was possible.
She believed in us, she pushed us, and she never let us think we couldn't make it.
Right in their belly. He has had such an amazing impact on so many kids' lives from all kinds of different backgrounds. You know, these are unique individuals that truly care about each kid that they meet along the way.
They were there late certain days, on weekends certain days, really dedicated. They really inspired me and my teammates to work together and get excited about, you know, what we were going out there to do, which was represent our school and hopefully win.
You know, I think anytime you exceed expectations, it gets down to how much you believe in one another.
Landon, at that time, they were just so much better than everyone else. For 4 years, you know, everyone sat around on dorm and we talked about how great it would be to beat Landon.
There you are, Kerry.
It wasn't something that's rocket science. It was just, you know, looking to your right and your left and knowing that we were all gonna get it done for that moment in time, and we did.
I remember talking to guys on the baseball team after the game, and they had a game going on at the same time. And they said when the game ended, they just heard a huge roar from the bowl. They looked over and could just see sticks and gloves and arm pads and everything flying through the air, and that's all they could see, and they knew he had won. It was a pretty amazing moment.
Right then and there, that moment, you know, you're surrounded by, you know, your brothers. It was like one of those amazing days you never ever forget.
It's the greatest feeling in the world when you, as a team, you accomplish something. Individual accomplishments are nice, but at the end of the day, it's the team accomplishments that you really cherish.
It's okay to expect people to have your back. You know, like you don't have to do all the work yourself. Like your teammates are working just as hard as you can, so you can depend on them.
You can't do things on your own. You need a team to carry you through a game and through life.
That first field hockey season, I believe our record was 2-9, and that might be a stretch. We knew what kind of tradition was behind us, and we wanted to create our own. And we really wanted to set the standard for the future. All eyes were on us. And we just started winning, and we were undefeated, and then hit the tournament, and we were up against St. Stephen St. Agnes. I believe it was the day of the Woodbury game. It was an incredible game, and I just remember thinking, we can do this. Feeling so incredibly excited that we had done it, and we were so proud of ourselves. If you just keep working and if you keep pushing yourself, it's an incredible experience. It's life-changing.
You gotta have heart, and you've gotta be willing to work hard.
I think that determined mentality is something that is fostered by sports.
You can be down, 19 points, and it's easy to give up. Or you can just decide that, you refuse to lose. You just refuse to lose.
You fight until the whistle blows. And that gives you the opportunity to still win at the last moment.
Athletes just kind of hold that drive and that mentality of, look, you know, it's up to me today to do this, and I'm going to go out and do my best, and I'm going to make this happen.
My hope is that Episcopal athletes would prepare vigorously, they would compete tenaciously, and they would win or lose graciously.
You learn pretty quickly that what happens when you're playing in competition is just that, it's competition, and it stays there.
There's a tremendous culture of sportsmanship, and it was passed down through the coaches and through the years.
That was always instilled in you, and you kind of had to live up to that.
When you get to Episcopal High School and you recognize that, you know, you didn't walk off the field, you know, doing anything other than kind of holding your head up high and respecting your opponent, whether you won or you lost.
You play as hard as you can, and the first thing you do after you win or lose is you shake your opponent's hand and congratulate him on a good battle.
Well, look at all the different sports that have come to Episcopal since I was there. Soccer and field hockey and other games. I'm very pleased and proud to have been a part of that tradition.
It's a beautiful school for learning and things like that. But if you want to be a full, well-rounded student, you would participate in athletics.
It's a very healthy part of the overall experience, and I think it's something that virtually every graduate looks back on with appreciation for what athletics did for them while they were there.
It instilled some values in me that I still, live by today.
I learned that great things can be accomplished when you all work together. That has definitely been something that I've carried through all of my life.
My experience in sports has taught me to take a step back, reevaluate, see how to make it better, and move forward. You can't just dwell on it. And I think that's a lesson that sports teaches you that's invaluable.
Nothing's ever going to be perfect, and you're never going to have that ideal situation. So what are you going to do to overcome the obstacles that are in front of you?
It's tough to lose, but you learn a lot from it. You learn how to overcome, you learn resilience, you learn determination. And those three things are critical for success in anything.
The desire to get out there and fight and battle is still with me.